Hello, friends. And today I want to talk about energy, specifically an energy exchange and how we tend to give our energy away and feel completely depleted. And also about energy vampires that pull that energy away from us. So this idea for the video came from an article that I read, and I will post it in the comments below. But basically, it talks about how science confirms how other people are able to get energy from other humans. And it's talking about the research and how plants are able to do that and humans are able to do that as well. So this is what kind of got me thinking about this topic. So I want to talk about two things today. The first is energy vampires, how to recognize them, how to deal with them, and our day-to-day actions that lead us to wasting our energy for things that are unnecessary. So why is this important? If you feel like you're constantly lacking energy, if you're constantly tired or exhausted or depleted at the end of the day, this video might be for you. So let's talk about the first thing, energy vampires, and how to recognize them and how they trigger you. So energy vampires are basically humans that are unable to get their energy from other sources. Sources like food, exercise, nature, sleep. They have to demand and get that energy by force. So what I mean by that is, how do they actually give you the energy or get that energy by force? There's certain behaviors that you will notice from them. So as I'm reading those behaviors, think about some of the people that you interact with that maybe you felt that way. So energy vampires are usually needy. They're always in need for attention. They always need you to be there to kind of show them something, to help them with something. That is how they feed off of you. They're very needy. They can be demanding. They may demand that you do certain things. They demand that you behave a certain way or you act a certain way. They can be manipulating, crying, crying to get a certain result, not like crying I'm upset, but usually crying to get a certain result, to get you to behave a certain way, to get you to act a certain way. Again, it's very manipulative. Complaining, those are people that talk about things that are going wrong, and they're just always seem to be complaining about something. Or people that are constantly trying to argue with you, always trying to start a fight or always trying to start something. So needy, demanding, manipulating, crying, complaining, and arguing. So these are some of the main ones. So couple of things. How do you know that you're being triggered? If you feel a sense of emotion rising up, that you're not happy, that you feel upset, that you feel very emotionally charged, that you want to respond in a very emotionally charged way, that is an indicator that you're being triggered. So the best thing in this situation is to pause, understand that you're being triggered, reflect back on your thoughts and kind of maybe journal them or walk through them, go for a walk and like talk through the thoughts that you're having, and then remove yourself from that situation. This last piece, removing yourself, is very important because often these energy vampires are going to do whatever it takes so that you don't remove yourself from that situation. They're going to want you to be there because if you're not physically there, they can't get anything from you. If they can't get you with their little hooks and their little things, they cannot get anything from you. So removing yourself from that situation is what is going to make things very, very hard for them to get anything out of you. So pause, reflect, remove. Now, what happens if you continue to have this relationship for a long period of time? I want to just make this very, very clear because People have had these relationships. I've had these relationships for a long time, sometimes years before even realizing that there is a problem. So it can end one of two ways. You end the relationship or you get sick. I know it's pretty drastic, but essentially, think about this. If you're constantly depriving yourself of food, if you're constantly not eating enough, not eating enough, not eating enough, guess what? You're going to get sick. This is the same thing. Energy, food, we just get the food. We just eat to get the energy. So if we're constantly depleted of energy, this is our life prana, this is our life force, we are not going to feel alive. We're going to get sick. That's just inevitably what's going to happen. So it's very important that you follow these steps. Pause, reflect, remove. If this continues to happen, if this is someone that you're close with, like your child or your spouse or your parent, it's figuring out a new way to develop that relationship that it doesn't involve this unequal energy exchange. Okay, so that's it about the energy vampires. The next thing I want to talk about are the day-to-day actions that trigger you to lose that energy. So these are things that we may not realize that we're doing, but I promise you we're all doing them. So some of the things that really suck the energy out of us, which is something that you're doing right now, social media. Social media is such a sucker for just wasting your time, wasting your energy. What I mean by energy is anytime you pay attention to something, anytime you spend time doing something, that you're focusing on something, you are putting your energy there. Anytime you're doing it on a task that is pointless, that doesn't really make your life better, doesn't really improve your life, it's just going into the void. It's like you're throwing money away. Maybe that would be a good analogy. Think about this. Anytime you spend 5 minutes doing, like, scrolling through pointless videos, on Facebook, on YouTube, think about, $5 that you just wasted, $10 that you just wasted. If it's an hour, then it's $60. And if you do that every day, add it all up at the end of the month, how much is that? That's a lot of money, right? That's what? Over $2,000. That's quite a bit of money. So think about that. It can be pointless tasks like this. It can also be tasks that are repetitive, that you don't really see a point in. So kind of like things that you're just constantly doing over and over and over and over. Think about maybe changing your routine so that you don't have to do them, or figuring out another way how you can approach this task without it feeling like a routine, maybe making it more fun, making it more exciting, or maybe doing it, fewer times a week or something like that. I understand there's certain routine tasks that we have to do, like cleaning the house, doing laundry, things like that. But again, it's about how we approach it, right? If we approach it as something fun, if we approach it as something exciting, maybe involving other people, maybe doing it with music, or I don't know, maybe dressing up while you're doing it, something that makes it, less mundane and less routine. And then the other thing is when you're doing something that you really don't like. So I'm going to give you an example. When you are going against the flow, imagine you're in the river and you're trying to move against the current. How hard is it to move against the current? It's hard because not only you have gravity and you have the running water around you, but the water is pushing you the other way and you have to push the water. You're not going to make it very far, and you're going to be exhausted when you get there, because it is exhausting to go against the flow. So when you feel that inside, that, I don't want to go to work, it just sucks, or I don't want to come home, because of my relationship with my spouse or my boyfriend or, my girlfriend. I just feel like crap, or I just don't want to do this, or I don't want to go to the gym. It just makes me feel like the worst person ever. Anytime you feel that inside, know that it is a huge, huge task that is draining your energy. So you got to figure it out. You got to twist it. Sometimes that means completely turning around 180 and going with the flow. Sometimes it again means removing yourself from that situation. It's assessing, okay, this is really not working for me long term. How can I figure this out? How can I get out of this situation and remove myself permanently and find something that aligns more with me? It's figuring out those types of things. So that's all I have, you guys. I hope this was helpful. If you found anything helpful, if you could relate to any of these situations, whether it's about energy vampires or things that you do in your day-to-day life, please comment below. Let me know. Like this video and share it with your friends. Thank you, and until next week. Bye.